Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fae Realm. We are back after my whirlwind tour of New York City's theater scene. I'm very tired. We're all very tired, but we're here. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. Yeah. Andrew's a little worse for wear today. Someone talk. Thank you. I was like, I need to check the desktop audio. Someone talk, please.
You told us right before we started recording to cease yapping, and boy, did we cease.
Yeah, you did. I've never been more fascinated by your ability to follow my instructions.
Shut up! Why'd you all do what you were told?
But yes, hello everyone. We are back. This is going to be a very scant programming week. It's basically going to be this and maybe something on Sunday. We'll see. Because the holiday is upon us, and I'm going to be eating a lot of good food and hanging out with a lot of amazing people. And I hope that everyone else in this call is doing the same.
Maybe even simultaneously.
Ooh, that's asking a lot there, my guy.
Boom, boom. Shots fired.
Amazing. Before we get started, Fallon Gore has sent in 500 biddies for the DM to torture the players.
Oh, yeah, get him back, Fleeg.
And Duke Fleeg has sent in 500 for the Deadpool, and we do, according to my notes, still have one left over from last time. So we currently have 2 in the Deadpool, which almost became a very literal thing last time, a dead river rather than a dead pool, but you know.
Now, I have a Deadpool-related idea. Could we use the bits that Fleeg just gave us to cancel out the ones that Falangor gave Adam?
No.
Damn.
No bidding wars.
Bidding wars?
Bidding wars. That's funny.
That was clever.
That was good. Took me a second.
Just realized I was muted this whole time. But no.
Aw.
It's no fun.
I tried. Please,
Being animated.
If there's anything you can rely on me for, it's like some out-of-the-box thinking.
Very true.
The game balance in me is saying, dear God, no. The economist in me is saying, ooh, you sly fox.
Yeah, that's right. See, I knew my audience.
Clever.
Right.
And the money kept rolling in.
Adam, I'm gonna
side.
pass it off to you, my dear. Take us in.
Oh yeah, now that the tone is set, here we go.
Look at my makeup, Adam. Look at my makeup.
We've been off for a little while.
Now that we're up here, we need to go down here.
Okay.
Y'all are at a 12. I need you at just like a 7.
I like your eye makeup, Tanya. It's like a more conservative JD Vance. Oh.
Back to 12 we go.
If you had waited like 2 seconds, you might have gotten the spit take on camera from that one.
No, so close.
But to be clear, that is not a dig on Tanya by any means. It's a dig on the
So-
powerful.
To ask the audience, like, should we play tonight, or do you guys just want to hear us just faff about and riff?
No.
We could do both.
No.
One of these
All right.
days we'll have an after dark.
Right.
You know, it's not a bad idea if I can ever figure out how to do it.
Okay. You are in a cast, the realm of waking nightmare, where your dear companion Lynn comes from. Lynn, who has already begun to display a lot of fear and a lot of trauma from having spent time here, and yet having no memory of it being the way that it is. After being assaulted by vicious Jiangxi, you found yourselves caught between needing to rest and realizing that that very rest could spell an eternal nightmare. After some searching, you learned about an old master by the name of I have it here.
Song Tang.
Tang Song.
Other way around.
And who had a method by which to force oneself awake when realized trapped within the waking dream. After you endured that training, you went out exploring, fought more Jiangxi, thank you, and we very nearly lost the Wild, drowning in a river. An unexpected figure helped in his rescue, a masked moon elf, revealing herself to be a disciple of one of the eldest deities in Forgotten Realms lore, Shar. And so we go to that scene now.
I'm still unconscious at the moment, yes.
You may choose to be waking up if you would like.
Oh, me and Drausken
I'm actually
went
going
with
to
them.
stay unconscious.
As you wish.
Drausken and I were in a different spot, unless we're glossing that over.
This is
You may
big
choose
screen.
to be here or not. But I wanted to put all the tokens here for
Okay.
any future dealio. In fact, I've done this in a different game before, so I'll just go ahead and add it now. I'm going to add in about 5 more cells of height. And then if you want to, actually, let's do more like 10. Okay, we'll just make
While
that
he's doing that, Duke Fleek
40.
sent in another 500 bits to add to the Deadpool for us, and he said it was to
Thank
complete
you,
the
Your
hype
Grace.
train.
Yeah!
Yay!
Dedicated to
We
the
get-
economist and Chris.
We give thanks.
The economist in me is like, how did I get here? Anyway,
aren't we
It's a
all?
long story, bro.
long story.
Begins in 1970 something with Gary Gygax.
So
Picture
anyway,
Sicily.
if you are not in the scene, feel free to lower your token to the area below. But if you want to say that you walked out and you're joining the conversation, you are welcome to do so.
Drausken was quite unconscious, so.
We're just
Okay.
dropping like flies.
Just bye.
Okay, it wasn't just the lad that almost died, it was also Drausken.
Yeah,
If I
Drausken
didn't
was
feed him a
also at
potion,
0.
He would have.
Ooh, there's another 100.
I do see
Keep 'em
that.
coming, y'all.
Wow. They see you guys already unconscious and they're just like,
Dang, they need help.
spirit bomb.
These poor babies.
It's either
Clap if
spirit.
you believe.
It's either spirit bomb or stay unconscious. Just shh.
Seeing as this is the Fey realm that we're streaming on, shouldn't people be clapping and saying I do believe in fairies to keep you guys alive?
different Fey rules, but not a bad idea. Thank you, Shadow Gamer.
If you'd like to clap at home and say you do believe, feel free.
Amazing.
We feel it. We feel the energy.
We do. Well, thank you very much for your assistance. It was unexpected.
Of course. I am, as you may be able to tell, also a stranger here. Though we serve different queens, we must recognize that we have a common problem, yes?
Do we?
This realm,
Hmm.
the calf, Xian Shang. Do you know this name yet?
I'm going to glance at Lynn. Is Lynn here with me? Or is it just me?
That's a good question. Do I remember this name?
I think you would
I ought
remember
to.
this name.
I ought to.
Yes.
At the utterance of the name, you can already see Lynn just shivering in her. If there's a chair, she's sitting in it. She's shivering, and just, my lady, my empress. Indeed, the master of this land and the sculptor of the dream.
Not all of us are strangers here.
This is a native.
Indeed.
How do you know that you can trust her?
Because my lady chose her. And she has proven herself again and again.
And so your lady brought her out of the calf and then back in?
We have purpose here. Pray, what is yours?
To get out.
You were trapped here.
We are all trapped here. Unless you have some exit that I do not. Why anyone would choose to be here willingly. You understand what happens when you sleep.
I have heard. Have you experienced it? Do we enter that realm?
No. No, that is something that is both fortunate and unfortunate. You see, there are certain places. There are certain places within this realm that can be only accessed through the dream.
Well, that is inconvenient.
On the other hand, we remain free of its clutches. Some of my former companions were not so lucky. Humans.
Have they too been taken to the Golden City?
Some. But now, I have found you, and I will admit that I have taken the liberty to avail myself to assist you in your time of need, in the hopes that you will pity me, despite the fact that I am a Sharan, and my kind are not beloved.
Regardless, this is a place that I would hesitate to condemn my worst enemy to. And at the very least, you are not that.
Then I will accept that as kindness. Let us watch each other's backs.
Since you and I are the ones who cannot enter the dream, I think that will be very helpful.
Good. Good. Then there may be hope yet. Have you discovered a method by which you can wake? Sort of looking at the others.
It is untested, but it is a method.
What of him? You have 2 companions lying there upon the ground? Are they asleep?
gonna turn and look back. Is she referencing Drausken?
Yeah, Drausken, the Wild. Is Yi-Ling asleep or just not in the room?
We were far away, so I assumed we were not part of this conversation because we were a couple buildings lengths away, unless we were skimming over that. And I already dragged his ass back here.
Yeah, I was trying to establish that earlier. Did you
Then
did
I
you
guess
want to
I'm here.
be in the conversation?
Sure.
Okay,
I
great.
just... Sorry, I'm used to playing to pick up exactly where we left off.
Right, yeah. That makes sense.
Well, our companions were brought to unconsciousness in the fight. I don't remember out of character. Did we give the Wild any heals?
If we did, he's still unconscious.
Yes, I believed you well, you had to heal him, otherwise he was still dying.
Right.
I mean, he had stabilized on his own, even though, yeah, I guess technically that shouldn't have been possible. But I didn't look it up at the moment, and then I saw it in the stream later on that someone says, well, technically. So anyway, it doesn't matter. What does matter is we are going to assume at the very least, Andrew, that you have 1 hit point.
Yeah.
And you are not in immediate danger of dying.
I'm treating it as just like he literally was this close to being drowned, and he, I'm treating recovery as not a super immediate thing.
Well, and you can't wake up regardless.
Sure. Oh,
Right.
yes, yes.
So currently, both the Wild and Drausken are trapped.
Yeah.
Well,
The method
being trapped is a mindset.
The method is currently untested, but we have learned something. And I suppose we will have to see whether they are able to pull that off.
We wait no longer than an hour.
Until what?
So,
To see if they wake up themselves.
Yes.
I just feel like it's a bad idea, but I could be wrong. Perhaps Master Song will know better.
So I think, speaking of which, let's go ahead and actually transition, so that we are actually in the dream world.
Ooh.
Now we gotta switch places.
Get out of here. This is my scene.
Exit stage bottom.
Pursued by Hobgoblin.
It's gonna say pursued by
Lion
cat,
Man.
but
I'm getting on the bridge this time. Because
Valid.
that's called character growth.
Is that what that is? Okay.
Hey, go swimming, drown, stay the F out of the water. That's learning.
So the last thing you remember, Wild, you were drowning. And then everything went dark, and then the next thing you knew, you were here. And then Drausken was here. Both of you are otherwise in perfect health. Unfatigued by the day.
The Wild looks around and looks a bit disoriented as he fights this urge to retch a whole bunch of water onto the ground, and then realizing that that feeling is in his head. And while he's doubled over trying to heave water onto the ground when there's no water in his body to do that, he stops shuddering for a bit and looks around and looks over and sees Drausken. What was Drausken doing?
Well, assuming that we arrived in roughly the same condition that we left the real world, Drausken's probably pulling himself up to his hands and knees from being prone on the ground, muttering a great deal of oaths and curses that would curdle milk.
You do not retain any injury. This is a different version of yourself, though logically speaking, you realize you must be injured.
But we don't feel it, like air quotes, physically.
Yeah, whereas right now you are not feeling your body.
Mm.
Do we have our effects about us?
You have representations of your effects about you,
Mm.
Dane,
but that is a very difficult question to answer.
Dane, bring your mic a
Okay.
little closer to your mouth, dear.
Sure.
Thank you.
So the Wild will heave himself up and walk over to Drausken and offer him a hand.
Oh, yes.
Are we in the other place?
Well, odds of us being dead are fairly slim at this point, so I'd say yes. That's unfortunately quite likely.
Do we do the thing that the old man was teaching us?
I would say yes, but first, let's try and find someplace quiet and out of view. I'd rather not be stumbled across by any of the Dark Lord's minions.
You want to lead?
Sure. Find a house. And
I
Joe's gonna
watch
kind of
your back.
Walk up the staircase back to the ground level.
And the Wild will follow.
So there are a few different places you could go. Some of the places where there was clearly someone inside sleeping now show somebody working tirelessly, undoing and building their own home, the street around them, gardening. Endless labors run about you. Despite the idyllic look of the weather and of the architecture and how beautiful everything is, the faces of the people that you see are exhausted, suffering.
Droskin's gonna try to see if there's, any place where there's an alley between buildings and then duck into that with the Wild.
You do so. You're also nearby Master Song's house. Is there anyone you might want to find, or just be alone?
Just trying to get out of sight. The way that Droskin figures it, he knows that both worlds have agents that are there to keep the peace, and he'd rather not run afoul of them.
In that case, let me get a stealth check. You are not inhibited by armor.
I'd like to throw one too, if that's all right.
Yes, both of you, please.
Cool. Come on, baby. Mother, father. I made sure to put points into it.
See, Drausken is just like, play it cool. We're here. Just look like we belong.
Screw you, roll 20. Screw you. You're dumb, and I don't like you.
All right, so you move around the corner, and Droskin, you couldn't tell if anyone was following you or not, but you felt pretty confident about what you were doing. The Wild, you didn't really think about it too much. You just followed along with Droskin, and you assumed that he would, that if you followed him, all would be well.
Solid assumption.
So
And
you
you
find
know what
yourself
they
with the
say
moment.
about assuming that it
Yes.
always works out and
that
everything
it's
will be
awesome.
fine. Yeah,
Correct.
Great.
That is what they say.
that is.
So you find yourselves with a moment, just the two of you, in this alleyway. What do you do?
Go on. Sit. Think. Do whatever it is that you need to do. Try to wake up.
The Wild sits and tries to slow his heartbeat and just feel all the energy in his body, just trying to align everything and to just relax and then focus hard on what was his name, Master Tang, was teaching us, and focusing on that one thing that for myself, that sense of being trapped and being immobile and fighting against that sense of almost claustrophobia and helplessness that way, which gets encroached upon and augmented by also that same sensation of impending drowning, in order to try to wake myself.
So as the Wild is doing this, Drowskin, you are looking at him, and then down the alleyway, the silhouette of a gliding figure comes by. You see it turn and look down the alleyway, slowly cocking its head all the way around. The Wild is not aware, as he is concentrating.
Droskin is going to, as quickly as possible, try to interpose himself so that the Wild's presence is not easily recognized. And just kind of in a panic is going to try to pretend that he's busy inspecting something or working on something. He doesn't really know what he's doing, but he knows that he's supposed to look busy, so he's going to try to look busy. But mostly he's just going to try to take up space so that the Wild is not obviously lying on the ground or sitting or whatever he's doing.
So, why don't you give me either a performance or a deception check? Or, if you have a specific tool proficiency,
Well, as it turns out, Droskin is proficient with woodcarver's tools. And is
Okay.
actually a
Nice.
bit of an experienced woodworker.
in that case, go ahead and make the check at advantage.
Ooh. Which attribute am I applying to this?
Charisma.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, that
I've been in the
beautiful
military
nat
for a long
20.
time. I know how to look like I'm busy.
Oh, wow.
The creature begins to float its way towards you. One of the vicious Jiangshi, it like looks at you with like a hungry, sunken face. And then it slowly turns to your work.
That's
And
not right. Let me fix that.
it reaches out with its long, elongated clawed fingers and caresses the wood and inspects it. And then it turns back to you, nods, turns, and begins to float away. The Wild, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Finally, something I'm super good at.
And you are. So much better at
Drausken,
stealth.
when you turn around, he's no longer there. It would appear that your ruse is successful.
Like reflexes. Disappear.
All right. With that, let's switch back to the waking world.
For a second, I thought you meant the wild disappeared. I was like, no. Get off our stage, boys.
Yeah. Well, the Wild can stay.
Hooray.
Oh, did he succeed? Oh, he did. Nice.
So, about 10 minutes after your conversation, and you've kind of dragged people around to a safer place, the Wild comes to.
It worked.
You're right.
Drausken. And he looks immediately around for Drausken's body.
It is there. Sat up, slumped against a wall.
He scrambles over and kind of starts patting him relatively firmly on the side of the face, like whatever might help him from this side, even if it's, actually completely futile. It feels good to be doing something.
Yeah, the masked elf pipes up and says, "There's no use. That will not work."
Oh, it makes me feel better.
Well, then I misunderstood.
Won't hit him too hard. We need him back in one piece, more or less.
He starts petting the side of Drausken's face instead of smacking it. Oh, this kind of nice from other side.
How are you feeling?
No. Didn't like water.
I mean, you are beaten, bruised. You didn't just, pass out from drowning. You were beaten unconscious.
Don't like those things. Holding underwater doesn't drown them.
No. I think from now on we should not fight them if we can absolutely help it.
Didn't work.
They are undead. You thought you would drown them?
Not know what undead.
What manner of beast is this? She asks to Loraphyra, kind of leaning in.
He is the wild.
What does that mean?
TM.
He is, as you see him, a cat man, known as the wild.
Uh-huh. Is he from Ikath?
No.
Right. And your lady wants him for why?
There, I
Hey, nobody knows.
Awkward
I was like,
silence.
that's a damn good question.
Everyone looks at each other.
I never thought about it.
There-
Like that.
there are times when I have wondered much the same, but his unpredictability and wildness has come in clutch more than once. Because if I cannot predict what he is going to do, neither can anyone else.
See. And what of the other?
Oh, a military genius.
A man of discipline.
Indeed.
Then how is it that he is not yet awake?
I am hoping that he will come to in time. The wild's reaction makes me think that they saw each other on the other side, which makes me think then that Drausken was assisting from that side.
Is there any reason that he would be detained?
I don't know what dangers are on the other side. I don't know. There is much that I do not know, and thus I cannot make a good assumption about what may be.
Can you ask him?
What is your name? I don't want to keep thinking of you as the follower of Shar. I'm sure you have a name.
You will.
You may refer to me as Night Eye.
Night Eye? Loraphyra.
And who are these others?
The Wild, Yi-Ling, Lin, and the unconscious one is Drausken. Wild, what did you see over there?
Everything look not like this, but same place. Clean and many people working. And the creatures, the ones we fought, some moving around, looking. Drausken pretend to work. Then I was back. Not know much else.
I see.
Felt fine there. Feel bad here. He coughs more water.
Well, I can
And maybe
imagine.
some hair.
From everything that you have said, dreaming is a time away from the realities of the world. So I can imagine you would not take that pain into a dream.
Was confusing. Didn't feel like rest.
Well,
Feel fine there. Feel pain here.
With a dream, it separates you from your flesh, your hunger, your pain, but it takes everything else.
What else?
Your conscious mind, your soul, your sense of place, your sense of time.
The longer you stay there, the more you start to forget. You did not stay there for very long, so that was good.
Drausken said good idea to leave, so followed advice.
That is
He'll
true.
join
Drausken
us soon.
smart, and the wild doing what the wild thinks, when not in the wild, seem not to work. So the wild take orders. The wild not go off anymore. Not work. Get wild hurt.
You're the one I fear for the most.
You fear for the wild.
I do. This place is not for you.
The wild agrees. Feels wrong. Feels wrong when dreaming. Feels wrong when awake. No trees. Just. And water. The wild not like water as much as used to.
That is a completely understandable viewpoint. I am given to understand that there are areas that are only accessible via the dream, though. It may be necessary to go there.
Might be that Drausken is scouting.
I don't like that.
Well, whatever your companion is doing, he hasn't awakened yet. I cannot guarantee he will wake up anytime soon. In the meantime, do you intend to wait or to take action? Understand that exhaustion will come upon you eventually.
I think we give him a little more time and see if he is able to rouse himself, and if not, then we proceed as we must.
I have a question. Is possible to help someone dreaming stay healthy while dreaming? Can give food, healing.
To an extent. Yes, you can feed, you can dress wounds, that sort of thing. But one cannot recover their mental faculties easily. It is not simply the body that rests during sleep for those of without the gift. It is also the mind. And madness brought itself to my companions before they began to perish.
How to stop the madness?
It is not something you can easily defeat. They're not something you can wound or slay.
I don't know if there is a possibility. What I recommend is that if your lady knows some way to get out of here as quickly as possible. Now, I am willing to help you, but I want to know, what is it that you are doing here?
Why did you come here?
I was
You were traveling with humans.
Yes.
Uncommon for our kind.
Yes. But Shar does not turn away anyone based on their blood.
How kind of her.
We were investigating the Shadowfell. There was presence of interested parties. Outsiders who had invaded her realm. I do not speak of you. There were Bodak, followers of the Prince of Undeath, Orcus. There were traces of Fey activity. She warned that there was an arch-Fey, the name Zybilna.
Loraphyra keeps a very careful poker face.
Give me a deception check.
An 8. That tracks.
Okay.
I
Well,
feel the pain.
we could call it a passive 11.
Okay. Sure.
Now give me an insight check.
Dang.
Roll a nat 1 for
Dude.
an 11.
Oh, plus 10.
It's gonna be one of those nights.
Look,
Okay.
I can see
I
shit and I can
see.
understand shit. I just can't lie to save my damn life.
Come on, roll 20. This is the week to give us something to be thankful for, and you're not doing very well so far.
Hey, we have well-stocked Deadpools on both sides at this point. so-
I was going to point that out. There was a bidding war that happened with Duke Flea giving some more to us. And Adam, you've got 2 more on your side from Falangor.
That's right, but I'm pleased with the outcome.
I'm glad that you
You
are.
bastard.
I'm glad that you are.
But by all
You know,
means,
we could-
reroll.
Do you want
if
to
any-
reroll?
If anything, it is probably a small fortune that this is where the bad rolls are happening. It could be way worse.
Yeah, because this is where the rolls
Don't
are
say
happening right
that.
now.
Because it will be.
If others would second me, I would like to get the re-roll on that insight check.
Seconded,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Thank you. 24, much
Nice.
better.
There you
Thank
go.
the
Well
Lord.
spent. Well spent. You caught that she caught what you had done. So you notice that she saw through your poker face. She knows that you know something. And then she tried to pretend like she didn't realize that she noticed, but you noticed that she noticed.
So I know that she knows that I know that she knows.
Correct.
Wonderful. Fucking elves.
That's right. They're all just like mean girling at each other.
Pretty much. Oh. So Loraphyra will just raise an eyebrow slightly with just the barest hint of a smile to kind of acknowledge that she sees.
So it is Zybilna then.
I have run across that name. Though, going by the rules of Feykind, it may be best to not say it too often.
Well, luckily for both of us, that is not likely her name.
Indeed.
Oh, yes. It is doubtful that an Archfey would divulge their true name. It is likely that such a being is known by different names in different places. So, where you encountered this Fey, I assume was not in the Shadowfell.
I have not encountered the Fae themselves. I have run across the name.
Mm. I see. Well,
Is it at all possible that the Wild would have ever heard this name spoken amongst the Fae that he knew?
never.
Okay. I love
not-
how clear that answer was. Fantastic.
Very straightforward.
Absolutely
No,
not.
no room for
Done.
ambiguity in there.
I love it.
So you are seeking out the causes of the disturbances within the Shadowfell?
Yes. Of course, I'm also aware of the Shadar Kai, the agents of the Raven Queen. I expect that you are a representative.
So they tell me.
There is no doubting that our respective ladies are in competition for ownership of the Shadowfell. But I would far prefer the Raven Queen to own at least a few plots to herself than to give up even an inch to Orcus.
In that, I think we are in complete agreement.
And so you have every reason not to trust me. However, I hope that we can work towards our common interest.
I admit to know nothing of either of your ladies or this prince or this archfey, but if they are playing at a land claim, this is not the place to do it.
No?
Wait. So, claiming these realms like Tempest, this is not only being done by the Raven Queen. It is being done by many others as well.
I cannot pretend to understand the intentions of every interested party.
But
I can only speak for
can
my
be.
lady.
But it is true that there are more than just the Raven Queen trying to take these domains.
It's possible. My lady wishes to take everything back.
How do we know we're on the right side?
Don't. Shadowfell is like any other land full of many people vying for power. You do your best with the information you are given.
Seemed different when I thought it was just her. This seems different. Don't like it. Smells bad.
It's all a matter of perspective. The more you know, the more your perspective will change.
Well, I have been upfront with you. Now, I want you to be upfront with me so that I can lend you my assistance. What mission has she sent you on? Please,
We are
you
here.
can.
I can.
Slay the Dark Lord.
We are here to kill the Empress.
But you know what will happen, don't you?
We saw it in Tempest.
Tempest. In Tempest, you heard the name.
No.
I sense no guile. You have been to many places. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. You must be well within her good graces.
She knows that I seek to do her will,
Hmm.
and have for many years.
That is commendable. So, you know then that Tempest will return to as it was, yes?
No. It's different this time.
It's like Barovia then.
Yes.
I see. Everything is beginning to become clear. What is the manner of your murder?
Every domain is built around the one who rules it. When you know what lie they are telling themselves, and you confront them with the truth, you break down that which connects them to the domain and to the dark powers, and then they are as any other, able to be slain.
But the Dread Lords are not often even aware that they are captured, that they belong to the Mist. How do you make them aware of such a thing?
You begin with the smaller ones. One believed that she was a good mother.
Is it truly so simple?
And yet so difficult.
I think I understand.
Everyone believes a lie.
Sounds
Okay.
like you've met some Southern Knights.
I have met a number of people. Every one of us believes a lie that is integral to our identity, and when confronted with the truth of it, it breaks down who you are.
Is that so? Have you been faced with this?
I will keep my lies and my truth to myself.
A wise policy. Let's go ahead and go back to Drausken.
Sorry to leave you guys
Still-
there alone for so
Still
long, Dane.
working away on that freaking wall while his ghost supervisor's like, "You missed a spot."
No, he was like, that's some damn good work.
Yeah, very
That's
fine.
some nice workmanship. Holy moly. He like
If the
reaches
rest of
out,
these
gives him a
slackers
little
would
gold
work hard
star.
like you, this place wouldn't be such a crap hole. He says, gesturing at the Immaculate City.
You guys join Drausken in the dream world, and he's now the foreman. He's like,
He's got a hard hat and a clipboard. Yeah. Boop, boop.
That's some
The
shoddy
dump
work.
trucks. Shoddy workmanship.
All right, my loves.
Shoddy.
Yep, sorry. All right. So, Drausken, you are alone in the alley. You have fooled the Jiangxi, and it would appear that the Wild has completed his training and successfully vanished back into the waking world.
Well, if the Wild can do it, I damn sure can too.
Hey! You hear from the sky above?
Let's just hope that, the dice agree.
So what are you going to do?
Well, at this point, he feels much more exposed in this alleyway than he originally anticipated. So he's going to try and find somewhere else to tend to himself, especially since he doesn't have anyone to watch his back. So he'll probably exit in the opposite direction of the Zunchi and see about finding somewhere a bit quieter.
Okay, well, quiet is actually proving to be somewhat difficult. You pass behind someone's home and you can see them working inside of it, breaking down a wall, eager to replace it with the new design. You travel along the streets and you see busybodies all about, working tirelessly on the new vision. Finally, you do find a place where there are lots of stacked up supplies, raw materials, brick and stone, straw, that sort of thing. You find yourself sort of nestled among them in an isolated place.
All right. Drausken is going to fight off the urge to offer advice and suggestions to people along the way, knowing that he has a mission that he need attend to. It's like, oh, but if you
Hard.
but when he does find a spot that looks suitably concealed and out of prying eyes, he'll try to sort of settle in and work on bringing himself back to the waking world.
Okay. So, consider the words that the master taught you. You will please illustrate to us the thoughts that you focus on.
Well, I will try. It has, however, been several weeks since that lesson. So, let's see if I can recall. Essentially, Drausken is going to try to hone in on what he sort of believes to be his greatest failure. The moment that he could have made things right and failed to do so. And he is going to sort of give himself into that moment of despair, to that profound sense of pain and regret in his past. And then he is going to try to focus on that one singular word that to him encapsulates that moment.
Would you illustrate this moment for us from Drausken's perspective?
He is proud, clad in armor, standing in the council room with the other officers as the general lays out her plans for moving forward. And he looks around, he sees everyone excitedly, hopefully, and intently approving, agreeing, nodding. Yes, this is what we do. This is our plan of action. And Drausken, digging deeper into his stores of willpower than ever before, speaks the words that he could not speak before. No. No. And in his mind, he sees all of the other officers, everyone around the table, and the general herself, all turning and staring at him, knives in their eyes. And he shakes his head and repeats himself. No.
You see the indignation in the general's eyes, burning with fury and disappointment. And you feel yourself impaled once more. Give me a wisdom saving throw, and you may have advantage for that description. There's another feeling there. Something that perhaps you haven't been honest with yourself about. That look in her eye. Your inability to tell her no. Why does her disdain harm you so?
Because every moment of Drausken's life has been to follow the mission, to do what needs to be done, to follow orders. And he did so not just because he was an officer, but because he believed, or at least wanted to believe, that they were doing, maybe not right, but they were doing what needed to be done. He never questioned it. He never thought to question it.
It's hard to stay. It's hard to stay focused as your heart is beating, even though you know there can't be a heart there. You are asleep, and yet you feel yourself overcome by emotions as they are flooding your senses and making the focus more difficult. You're having a little bit of conflict within yourself. Speaking of your duty, you are here to do a work. And you have found yourself in a precarious position, but possibly an advantageous one. You have to make a choice here. Double down your focus attempt. Try to rejoin your friends. Or perhaps use the opportunity to stay asleep and look around.
Well, many years of playing the game have taught me to not split the party.
Not
Especially
true.
if the GM asks you if you want to.
Hey, you're not technically split. They're hauling your body around.
But
Dragging it on top of your sled.
You are literally with them in spirit.
No,
And
he's
body.
actually,
with-
that's the only way I'm not
he's
with
the
you.
opposite.
Right?
He's with us in body
Only.
only.
Yes.
Come on, old man.
Drausken
Get it together.
kind of drops down to his knees. He's like, come on. Come on. And he just knows that he doesn't have it in him to do that again right now. And perhaps as another great lie that he can tell himself, he pulls himself back up to his feet and he says, I'll just have a look around. We need intelligence. We need to know what's going on. They have me. I'm safe. We're fine. I can do it again. I can do it any other time. And walks back out of the storage area to scout.
You have an inspiration point.
I don't.
You have an inspiration point.
Oh, thank you.
Amazing.
As you walk out and look along the way, and it was hard to tell amongst all the mist from before, but out along the horizon, actually perfectly framed by the other features of the city, you see a great tower, a palace surrounding it. And you
All right.
hear the tolling of a bell. And you could feel power emanating from it, washing over you and everything around. Your goal is clear. All right, let's wake
certain,
up. No, please
Not-
go ahead.
Not certain if it would even matter anyway. Drausken is going to step back into the storage area, and he's going to take off his armor, set his shield and his sword down, sort of wrap them up and hide them away. And then, woodworking tools in hand, will step out into the street with a new mission in mind to pursue.
Fuck yeah. Dude, I love that shit. Really good job. Okay. Guys, it is 8:30. Do you want to keep going? Do we want to break at some point? What do you think, Tiana?
I think it's a good idea to take a quick break, but very quick. Keep it about 5 to 7 minutes long, which means we're not talking about Arcane over the break.
Oh,
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. I definitely have seen season 1.
Enemy.
We'll be back very shortly, friends. Get up, stretch, walk around, take your meds if you haven't yet, and we'll be back very shortly.
I did.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I hope you all took the opportunity to get up, stretch, and get some, I was going to say water, but then Dane toasted with the Dr. Pepper, so here we are. There's the water. And we back. Spindrift doesn't sponsor us, Adam. Stop doing that.
Neither does Dr. Pepper.
But maybe they will. Maybe they will if I do it.
Oh my god, if Dr. Pepper sponsored us, how awesome would that be?
Everybody hold up various drinks and see which one sticks. Yeah.
I don't have braces. I can only drink water. This is unfair. Stop it. Stop it right
Hey,
now.
there are companies that sell water.
Liquid death. I don't have one though.
I mean, this
Episode's
is
brought
a
to you by
sparkling
Brita.
water, and what Adam is the Spindrift that Adam's drinking is a sparkling water.
That's right. That's
Sparkling
right.
water's right.
I like
I have
them.
opinions.
Well, after you live in Europe for a couple of years, you get used to it. All right.
I'll tell you a story about why I call it attack water later.
Attack water.
Yep.
I think my wife calls it spicy water.
Spicy also works.
Okay. Yeah, let's get focused. We're back in the waking world. And Drausken still has not awakened. It has been probably a good 30 minutes that you've been waiting on him.
It's 30 more.
He seems to
30
be in
more.
the elf speaks Night Eye, as she calls herself, and says he seems healthy, improving even, but is not roused. Perhaps he has sought a different task.
Hard to say, not being on the other side. But we have been here quite a while, and I wonder, is it safe to be out here still?
Well,
I have an idea. and
Everyone
wild-
slowly turns towards the wild.
Like everyone just slowly what?
Like,
the wild just kind of edges over to be sitting right next to Drausken, and he stretches out, and he closes his eyes, and he goes back to sleep.
Oh, thought he said he was gonna stop doing things without orders. What
Well, you can take a cat to the water trough, but you can't make him drink.
is that how that works? Because my experience is cats do not like water drops.
They still
an
do have
interesting strategy.
Well, at least he knows how the feeling of coming back, so maybe it will work. Otherwise, I will just lock them both till they wake up.
Quite honestly,
Aro-
with the Wild awake, I had hoped to have him help transport Drausken. With both of them asleep, the only option is going to be to leave them here or remain.
They just leave our sleeping asses.
We might! We fucking might!
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
It'll be-
glad if the wild can just fall asleep on command. It takes me a good 2 hours and medication to do that.
Yeah, but he's a cat, and we all know cats can fall asleep like that. That's 100% real.
That's true.
Some people can too, and it's very unfair.
It really is.
Yeah, my wife's like that.
My sibling and my best friend,
Not
All
me.
right.
surrounded by these sleep freaks. Anyway,
Jumping back in.
But between all of us, the old soldier has a will of steel. Unlikely that he found himself trapped, more so that he has elected to stay within.
Well, at least now he will not be alone. But what do we do with them?
if it was just Drausken, we could drag him on his shield, but the wild, that will take at least all of us. to
At
transport.
least all
At
of us.
least everything we have
If we can
at bare minimum.
if we can take them to Master Tang's abode, I was working on that ward.
Perhaps Master Tang could help us. I don't want to leave anyone alone, but
If
Two
I
and
complete the
two?
ward, I can guarantee that they will be safe.
we have to get them inside first. So 2 stay here with the wild, 2 of us drag Drausken back, and then maybe we can bring back Master Tang to all help with.
I'll help with the
Wild.
hobgoblin.
You,
Very well. She puts his shield down and then bundles up the top half of Drausken on top of it like it's a sled and grabs his legs. starts dragging.
you can all take Drausken. I will be back with the wild shortly.
Oh, I did not think of alternatives. Good idea. Good
Ah.
thoughts. Keeps dragging Drausken towards the mill house.
I will go ahead and open the door because with my 8 strength, I'm not going to be any help.
I'll lift this. Don't mind me. After you.
So I'm not lifting fully armored Drausken, just sledding him along.
If everyone else is sliding Drausken along and Loraphyra is at the door, I wonder if Loraphyra is the only one looking backwards in time to hear the popping and snapping.
Yep.
Oh.
No, she knew this was coming as soon as Lynn said that.
Yeah, Yi-Ling, yes, she's just
Oh my gosh. I'm excited to see the idea here.
So, for the record, Drausken is carrying about 130 pounds of gear.
that's why we're dragging him and not carrying him. Even
That's
at
how
full
you
strength,
stay in shape.
Yi-Ling could do it, but she's wounded
Just
and
take-
tired.
Taking him up the steps, just boom, boom.
Yep. Clonk,
Don't-
clonk, clonk.
Don't worry, my guy. Your shield has seen lots of scratches before. Now we're gonna put plenty more on.
Wakes up
It's
with
magic.
one
It probably
mother
will
of
be
a headache.
fine. Just a loud scrape across the ground as we go.
So, Lynn, what do you do?
Sorry.
All right. Loraphyra is the only one who sees her lurch over, and then her back splits open as the muscled arm of an ape punches out of it.
Hell yeah! Gross monkey.
That funky monkey.
And ape has a strength of 16.
Hell
Nice.
yeah.
Rad.
I can carry this cat.
So I thought you were gonna turn into like a giant lion and then just like, bite the back of his neck and carry him off like a cub.
Oh, this
Bigger
is
lion
what
in
it
the wild,
feels
not
like.
likely.
But yes, this is fantastic. You become an ape and you lift the wild up onto your powerful shoulders and begin to walk him inside. Everyone smells the ape before they see it. As it then lays the wild down upon the ground.
The wild feels so safe in ape big strong arms. Feels so small, so tiny, so helpless.
Two worlds, one family.
Now more childhood trauma.
I'm sorry. I had to.
So that's also from a movie, Tiana.
I have seen Tarzan.
Yeah, right. Make that understanding gesture of.
There
Dad
was
and
one
Rob.
summer I was at my aunt's, and that was like the only movie that existed there, and so we watched it. Swear to God, 36 times through.
Otherwise, she'd have no idea.
Accurate.
I've
It's a
never
rush.
seen it all the way through.
Don't recommend. It's not that bad.
The songs are great. I mean, Phil Collins. Let's go.
Clayton.
Clayton. Anyway, sorry. Focusing. We're focusing.
No, we're not.
All right.
We're all exhausted.
All
No
right.
regrets.
So, yep, weekend of Bernie's. That's right. So you, yeah. And there's the master sitting there, and he goes, you're just gonna leave them here, aren't you?
We're all staying this time.
Oh, you're all staying.
If that is all right, we are not imposing too much.
Well, it is a bit of an imposition, if I'm being honest with you.
What is it?
Seeing as how food is incredibly scarce.
We will not take too much of your food, but I think the original plan was for Lynn to raise the ward when we are all inside, and now we are going back to that plan.
That actually reminds me, while I am an ape, I remembered some bits on the battle map that I was eyeing and looking for a chance to forage for.
Bananas.
Well, let's go to the map then.
Yeah, there was a fish. I remember seeing a fish on the boat.
Oh,
There's a big snake.
an octopus.
Horrific.
It should be an ape now.
It is an octopus. That's cool.
You're an octopus.
Not sure what to do with
No.
that.
We're all
Fresh fish on this
octopeers.
boat here.
Indeed, oddly enough, the swordfish there is a fresh catch.
But the octopus. Oh, there's no point of
That's
interest.
gotta be a trap.
There's also a basket here of rotted fish.
Yeah, that's the fish are rotten. Ooh, there's barnacles.
What's
So
the
I would like-
nutritional value of lily pads? Never considered that, but I actually feel like there may be some.
I mean, they're
I
imagine-
don't know if they have any natural predators.
they're lotus, and there's lotus pods. Depends on if they're in season.
So, if it would be no difficulty, I think Lynn would like to go foraging for the fish.
The fish.
Yeah, especially in
actually-
ape form, that's not a problem for you. You're able
I
to
like to go back and
brachiate.
take back the rotted ones. I have an idea.
Oh, okay. Very well.
I think I get what you're going for there.
I don't, but I'm still excited.
But as you are gathering those fish, Lynn, you see a very strange creature peeking out at you. Something you all saw earlier, but a sort of pink, fleshy mound of eyes.
Awesome.
That description just kept getting worse.
They all blink in unison from
Now it's
moment
bad.
to moment as it continues to shift around. But there appears to be limbs made of this flesh and eye matter. And as a shapeshifter yourself, you see it less as a horror and more as an undefined being.
Curiosity.
But after it seems to recognize that you're looking at it, it recoils, returning behind back into the alleyway.
As an ape, Lynn can't speak, but she is thinking, "You poor thing. What nightmare created you?" But if nothing else, she will return with a score of fish. Some fresh, some not so fresh.
You bring the fish into the house, into the mill. Well, finally, at least one of you brought something useful.
Something less useful,
Now, don't be picky.
I will try not to be.
Well, if I was hoping I could, we'd offer something in return for your hospitality, and if we are to occupy this place for a while, Lynn is actually going to go ahead and set the basket of the rotted fish to a sort of spot in front of her, and then begin laying out some tools, 2 small clay pots with which she can raise some incense, and a small brass bell that she places right before herself before she sort of kneels down and begins praying. And I would like to ritual cast Purify Food.
Oh, that was
Hell
not
yeah.
my idea.
Dude, that is the money spell in this level, baby.
As soon as I figured out we're going here, I was looking at my list of spells to prepare, and this was the one.
See, this is
Very
how-
clever.
Honestly, if Loraphyra had known a little bit more in advance, she would have prepared create food and water.
Oh,
One
Dane-
long rest, if you can manage it.
Mm-hmm.
Dane
If
thought he
you
was going to
manage it.
resurrect all the fish, and now I feel like that's a horrendously missed opportunity. I want to see that so bad.
That would be
I
very
walk
expensive.
around and stuff.
I honestly
I
thought
thought
that
you
Little
were-
fins.
I thought he was going for the Sturmstrong or whatever that dish is with fermented
Oh.
fish.
Yeah.
I thought they were going for smelling salts to
Search
get our
for
friends
me.
awake. Like, rotten fish smells very strong. So
I'll keep that in the pocket.
I like how we all had different ideas.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Okay. So you purify the fish, and that nasty rotted smell dissipates entirely. And instead, you smell what you should smell from fresh fish, which is nothing.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth?
All right. I assume one of you begins cooking.
Time for a fresh fish fry. Let's go. I will begin helping to cook if no one else makes a move to it.
All right, and if we are decided to remain here, I will raise the ward with your consent.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You've come this far, and I guess these fish are helpful. So, stay as long as you want, I guess.
I have learned just a bit of the custodian's magic during my time here, so she begins checking again the symmetry between the talismans she has placed on the walls on each cardinal direction, and once they have been measured to satisfaction, she takes one last talisman, places it at the centermost point in between all of them, and burns it. As it rises in smoke, a sort of haze begins to drift and line each wall of the house. And I'm going to use one of my rare class abilities, Hearth of Moonlight and Shadow.
Ooh.
At 6th level, home can be wherever you are. During a short or long rest, you can invoke the shadowy power of the gloaming court to help guard your respite. At the start of the rest, you touch a point in space, and an invisible 30-foot radius sphere of magic appears, centered on that point. Total cover blocks the sphere. While within the sphere, you and your allies gain a +5 bonus to dexterity, stealth, and wisdom perception checks, and any light from open flames in the sphere isn't visible outside it. The sphere vanishes at the end of the rest or when you leave the sphere. Very nice.
Nice.
While we remain inside, it will be as though this house were abandoned.
Very good, because we will need a good fire for this. She's like crushing up hardtack to make a crust.
Are you making a fish pie?
I was just going to make a crust on the fish, but perhaps we can do that.
The crust
Do we
also
have-
works. Loraphyra has wandered over to offer assistance.
I mean, normally you need eggs. Are there any live chickens around?
I have some
Depends
rotten
on-
eggs.
Purify them.
Yes.
Boom,
get it.
fresh eggs.
Excellent. Let's do this.
Excellent.
I will.
This
I
is-
will mute you.
That was perfect.
Tang
It's
is
a
like,
beneficial idea.
This is
Oh.
this is turning out to be a really great day.
Do you have any spices?
The masked elf, Night Eye, speaks up. Excuse me. What are you all doing?
Eating to get our strength back.
Yes, obviously. But don't you understand that you need to get your mission completed before you become exhausted?
That is why the food.
No, food is going to help give you some energy. However, it can't replace sleep.
Are you suggesting we sleep right now or no?
If you can guarantee that you can wake up. However, Your soldier is not awake.
He's got like 20 more minutes.
What do you
I'll-
mean 20 minutes? What are you talking about?
If we can't wake him to up, we will wake him up.
You
Enough
can't
of it.
wake him up.
Night-Eye. This is our mission. If you do not wish to be a part of it and do things the way that we are, you are free to find your way elsewhere.
I apologize. I am concerned. But if you know what you are doing, as you must,
We are hurt
You-
and exhausted already. Well, many of us are. Some time to rest, even if it means stepping over. This is the safest place to make the trial of being able to use the method that we have learned to come back. Better to find out that we cannot hear.
At the very least, could we discuss what the next steps are?
Certainly.
You can multitask.
I would be curious to know what Drausken has discovered and where he intends to go from here. He would not abandon us for such a time unless he were certain.
Well, that sounds like a cue.
I was gonna say, great transition to Wild and
Screen
Drausken.
wipe, too.
Diddly-doo, diddly-doo. Andrew, you had your hand up, but did you need to?
I sure did. Because you guys are talking plans, and I'm like, the Wild going back to sleep actually was part of a plan. Just saying.
His plan that he told no one.
It's okay.
So, the Wild, we are with you and Drausken. Of course, where you appear is back in the alleyway, and Drausken isn't there.
So immediately I'm going to, because it's an alleyway, that actually works out nicely. I'm going to climb up on the roofs and start listening and then looking for Drausken.
All right, please roll a perception check.
I would love to.
Now, Drausken, I assume you are trying to move amongst this populace as stealthily as possible.
Stealthily, maybe, but basically as to not draw attention, to blend in, to
Okay.
look like I'm part of the populace as much as possible.
Difficult. You have a bright orange face and a rather bulbous nose.
Excuse me.
Not a whole lot of other hobgoblins here. Well, give me, let's say either a stealth or a performance check or a deception check. You may choose.
Oh, don't have that on anymore.
No, you don't. Okay, so the Wild, despite your best efforts, you can't find him.
Ooh.
Okay. Then just yell, Drausken! Drop down real quick. No. That would be great.
Nice.
So let me think real quick. Okay. I'm going to just, you know what? I'm going to just start slinking along the rooftops and just scouting more for Drausken. I'm going to and I'll take as much time as it takes. Uh, almost like to an extent, like whatever we would have to do to, almost to take 20 on the thing and just go like, if it means I need to take a longer amount of time to
I
do
understand.
this thing. Yeah.
All right. So, Drausken, what are you doing currently?
Making my way towards the tower, trying to listen to what people are saying, and anytime I see any of the agents of the Empress, I'm going to suddenly find someone who looks like they need a hand and try to provide at least momentary assistance to them.
All right. So, as you are just exiting the sort of archway into from this district, you see a you see a sign pointing in 3 different directions. One is towards the Gemstone Gardens. One points to something called the Gwai Wheat Center. And then there's one pointing back the way you came, called the Mansions.
Fighting off the urge to indulge his curiosity, Drausken is not going to head towards the gardens. Though that sounds like a place that Lynn would probably be rather familiar with. And instead he's going to head to the Gwai Wheat Center.
Okay. So as you're making your way around towards the sign, it is at this point that the Wild is able to spy you. And just in time, the Wild, you see that he is leaving this district. It would have been incredibly difficult to fight him had you not managed to spot him.
Terrific. Is there an alleyway near his position where I could drop down without like dropping into the middle of the street or something?
It would be pretty difficult. You would have to time it with watching everybody else's movements. Give me a perception roll.
Okay.
Okay. So you are able to hop down and to start heading over, but you do think that you were noticed. However, a individual shouts at the Zhangxi from behind you. And you hear him shout, "Oi, over here, ugly!" And you see a tiefling with blue skin and wearing an eye patch and a bandana. And he runs back inside, and the Zhangxi gives chase.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Far be it from me to look a gift tiefling in the mouth. I will proceed to hustle up behind Drausken and kind of like clear my throat behind. Drausken.
Drausken is going to step into the next alley that he sees, but does not turn around, does not indicate that he has seen or heard anything from the Wild.
Yeah, I'll just keep following.
Okay. Eventually, both of you find yourselves in a place called the Gwai Wheat Center. And actually, It probably is not nighttime. Let me see. Did I have... Yes.
Ooh, this is a very cool map. Look at all the tents.
This place appears to be a marketplace. Floating just over a central pyre, outlined by tile work of a flower, is a rather imposing large Jiangshi, arcane energy swirling around it.
Gonna stay well away from that. Drausken, can you hear me?
Were we able to find an alleyway, side passage, something like that?
Yes. So where I'm going to place you, let me just go ahead and do that right now. Okay, there's the wild, and there is Drausken.
Ah, I see this. Way down there. So I'll step off to the side. Just so we're, not in that main sort of thoroughfare, yeah. Drausken.
What in the name of Bane's bloody balls are you doing back here?
What are you still doing here?
I'm looking around.
All good answer. The rest are waiting for you to wake up. They're getting worried. Why are you still here?
Look, we need to scout out the area. I can wake up when I need to, but for now, we need information. The rest of you can keep me safe. Now I have to mind you.
I can leave. I have proven as much. What about you, soldier?
I'll get to it when I'm done with my mission.
Prove that you can first before I leave you.
I don't have to prove anything to you.
Do you want to keep things running?
I'm not positive what that means, but
Do you
How
want
so?
to keep a group at peace? Because right now they are worried for you. I came here to get word from you.
They sent you back just to check on me.
I came back on my own. I am certain they are irritated by my absence.
I'm sure. And unfortunately, I'm irritated by your presence.
Damn it! No, the wild doesn't know swear words.
What?
I'm sure he
Wild-
does.
He doesn't.
He's friends with fairies.
Yeah, they're probably really silly curses, but they're probably still curses.
Perhaps.
oh, snickerdoodles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what.
Flying flickwit.
Drausken.
Shut up. Something's coming.
What are other people in the market doing? Drausken's going to look around in a hurry to see what other people around here are
So
doing.
no one is doing really any dealing. They're building it, or rather taking it down and restructuring it. Even though there is an intended section of the city called a marketplace, it's not being used for that purpose.
Okay. Then Drausken is going to find something that looks like it is reworkable and is going to attempt to pretend to be working on it.
You see a man not super far away from you. He is balded and wearing black. He is also working away at things, and you notice him kind of stealing glances at you every now and then. You recognize that this is not a Jiangxi, but a man. A man likewise trapped in the stream.
For the time being, Drausken is going to attempt to ignore him and hope he goes away.
That's never gonna happen.
I mean, it might not, but
the Wild is just going to bring his head down lower so it's very close to Drausken's ears so he can just whisper. If you are to stay here, what is your plan? So should we need to find you in this place, we can.
I'm just scouting around. I'm looking for information, looking for allies. Eventually, I'm going to try to make my way towards the palace. We have to get there eventually, so I just need to look around.
So, should we need to find you, what would you have us do?
The man vanishes from sight.
Drausken's going to kind of like stop, sort of breathe a couple times. Are we closer to the palace here?
You seem like it seems like the path forked outwards towards either Guai or the Gemstone Gardens, but then beyond would have been the palace. So you're on the way regardless.
Does it feel like the Gemstone Gardens are also on the way?
Yes, it does.
When I get done here, I'm going to head towards the gardens. I suspect Lin knows them well. If you need to find me, look for me there.
Is there any way we could signal for you if we do not see you?
I don't know. Anything that draws too much attention is going to be worse than nothing at all. I'm sure you'll think of something. I'll keep an eye out. I will try to not be hidden. I need time to scout, time to think. I look at things.
Near the gardens, or even in this place, what if we... It looks like there are lots of these hanging things, the colors and cloth. What if we tried to hang a small thing that you might notice?
At this moment, a Jiangxi is starting to approach, making its way around the corner. It hasn't seen you yet, but it will inevitably. What do you do?
Whatever project Drausken kind of had his eye on, maybe like resurfacing a counter or remodeling a stall, something like that. He's basically just going to start telling the Wild, like, pick that up, move that over there. Now hold it steady.
And the Wild will do those things.
Okay. The Wild, I want you to roll performance or deception.
I mean,
Can I?
if he's
aid
telling
him?
me to pick up a box, I'm gonna pick up the box. I'm not gonna fake picking up the box.
I understand.
Okay.
However, you are lying. And you need to have a poker face when this thing floats up to you and stares you right in the side of your head.
There you go.
So you are doing as bid, and the Jiangxi floats over and starts to look at both of you. You know, looks at Drausken quizzically for a moment, but then turns away and looks at you, the Wild. Now, what kind of creature are you?
I am the Wild.
Where are you from?
From the wild. The jungles. You have jungles. Looking around, I think there are trees in the distance and whatnot.
Outside the walls, there's just the mist, the borders.
Was wandering. Found way here. Got lost.
Then let me welcome you.
Working hard.
Please, good overseer, I need this one's strength to make this work. I'm too old to move it on my own, but with
He's
his
right.
help, I can find a way to make the lady's vision.
Roll persuasion or deception.
Please, overseer. I am so old and feeble. I must
So weak and
have his
small.
help. Hey, that was good.
It's not awful.
My legs
No.
are bent, my back is broken, my eyes are dim.
I'm sure that's also from a movie.
Yes, it is from the life of Brian.
Ah.
Okay. Silence. This one is special. That much you can see. I believe the Empress will find him entertaining. Come with me, wild beast. Let us meet the Empress.
You mind if I use the facilities first?
Now.
Okay.
This is a dream. You don't
Um,
have to pee. Damn it.
Now, as
Oh, there's just running water everywhere.
as we're walking, and as we start leaving Drausken, the Wild's just gonna give him kind of a meaningful glance, like, I remember what you said you were gonna do. Don't do anything that I would do. And
That is the correct version of that saying, yes.
self-awareness. And as we're making our way, myself and the Jiangxi, I'm gonna be looking for particularly ideal locations to be able to dip and run and lose the Jiangxi. using athletics, I can get moving dang fast. Right now, my speed is 50,
Mm-hmm.
and at a full run, as well as jumping rooftops and stuff like that, I might be able to lose them. But I'm not gonna try it unless there's a very likely seeming avenue to do so. I'm not gonna like try to just book it if it's just wide open or whatever.
Go ahead and give me a perception roll.
Cool. Holy mother.
You find a great opportunity. The Jiangxi begins to reprimand someone else for not working hard enough and starts to set upon them. You take the opportunity to run. The Jiangxi notices that you are running, but by the time he does, you're too far ahead. You
And
hear him shouting after you. And then his voice dims as you get further and further away.
And with that, I'd like to try to dip into a dark place.
Emotionally?
Well, I mean,
Both.
isn't it all?
No, wait. Before all of that, I want to go back to Drausken really quick.
Okay.
And I want to say, Drausken, after he's taken away, what do you do?
A string of expletives that would make a sailor blush. And then a overwhelming sense of, oh shit, what do I do now?
The path lies before you. You could still go back to the Gemstone Gardens. After all, that is where you said that you could be found. On the other hand, losing track of the wild could have other problems.
Yeah.
It's never had problems.
Or you try to wake up, let everyone else know what's happened, and go that way.
Don't split the party, and then the party splits 3 directions.
Has it been an hour yet? I have ideas.
Drausken, what do you decide?
Drausken is going to head in towards the marketplace. He's told himself and he's told Drausken that he's here to look around and gather information, and if he doesn't at least try to do that, then he knows he's lying to everyone.
Hey, you. Over there. Come here a minute.
Is it the bald man?
It's a different man.
A different man.
This one, white hair, receding hairline. Rather gaunt figure with various goods strapped to his body. He gives you the ick. Hey, come here. You hear him shouting over from just east of you. You're not from here, are you? Do you have any food?
Quiet inside.
Yes. This way. All right, let's go back to everybody else.
So entrees have been served.
For what it's worth, I'm looking for a spot where I can basically do the wake up ritual again. Okay.
Very good. Okay, yes, it's been time. The ritual is complete. The food is made.
If it's been an hour, then Yi-Ling is now gonna try her thing.
Okay, what are you gonna do?
She's gonna take off Druskin's armor. Because here's the thing, Yi-Ling knows how to do a stunning strike on a person. which means reasonably she should know where nerve clusters are. And just had to hit one to send a shock of pain through someone, hopefully enough to wake them up.
Interesting. Okay, so I like the creativity there. Let's go ahead and say you do exactly this stunning strike to the best of your ability. Why don't you give me an insight check to see if you can successfully improvise this action?
Dirty 20.
Hey, there we
Nice.
go.
Excellent. You start, feeling along his rough exterior, his scars, his calluses, everything, until you find a nerve. And without trying to injure the man,
Just do that like when you hit your funny bone and it shocks your whole body.
Oh.
That's
now, Drausken, you feel on your end that something is pulling at you and you could easily wake up at this moment. However, you may have discovered something interesting and you're still scouting. Do you want to ride this wave to awake, possibly, or do you want to fight it?
Drausken is going to fight it.
Okay.
old man.
Now, Stunning Strike typically requires a con save, correct?
I was actually
Yes, I
gonna
believe it
use
does.
the
Yeah.
mechanics, but already, oh god, where'd it go?
It is a concept save.
Okay. So,
Sure.
can you give me the DC, and then Drausken, why don't you go ahead and make a con save?
Honestly, what did
I
put?
didn't have PvP on my bingo card for tonight, but
Well, it was. Look, I just figured.
For your own good.
Literally, where did it go?
well, smack you around for your own good.
There it is. Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay, of course it doesn't tell me what my DC is.
8
Oh,
plus
it's
proficiency.
12. I have it up above.
8 proficiency plus wisdom, I assume, right?
Yeah, it's 12.
Okay.
So you save.
Sorry, I lost that nerve cluster in the Battle of Ascor.
Ascor?
I didn't want to call it out.
All right.
You stubborn old man.
That's the story I want to hear. You were asking before, Dane. I want to know about that one.
So, Tania, Yi-Ling, you see his face kind of scrunch up like he's in dreaming. And yeah, I'm just going to use that 20 insight again and say, you can tell that he's actively resisting you. He wants to be asleep right now. Drausken has a plan.
She just gives him a little shake. Oh, you stubborn old fool. Give you one more hour and then I'll do it again.
He comes out, his nerves hurt so much.
He's just like,
It only jolts for a second. It's fine.
Look, I've been in a
It's
lot
just
of
part of
battles.
getting old.
6 seconds at most. He won't feel it when he wakes up.
he's sprawled out, just pins all across the back of his body.
His whole body's a Charlie horse.
Just like acupuncture everywhere.
All right, let's eat pie. This is not happening right now. He's being Drausken. But
As
it might work on the
usually
wild
is.
if the wild does not come back soon. Or did the wild already come back?
Well, let's see. The wild, you have just awakened and returned to sleep. What this is going to mean is that it's going to be more difficult to do again. So,
Oh,
please give me a wisdom saving throw.
okay.
Oh.
Mm.
Despite your best concentrations, you're unable to repeat the same process, realizing that it took quite a lot of mental exertion from you, exertion which you have not quite recovered.
Hmm.
For the time being, you're stuck.
Okay.
The wild does not wake up. Drausken does not wake up.
Try it on the wild too.
I
You could.
um
That's not a bad idea, really.
if
Although, if you're trying to get a con save out of me,
Yeah.
I mean,
if Drausken is
Could roll
committed to
like
this, if Drausken is truly committed to this course of action, and the Wild 2 has returned to join him, we have relative safety and refuge here. Would it not behoove us to also join them?
we'd be leaving Loraphyra all well. I suppose Night Eyes is also here. And
As
Oh.
is the master. If anywhere is safe enough to make the experiment, this is it.
Lynn, will your ward drop if you are unconscious?
No, this is a place of respite. We are assumed to be asleep from within these walls.
I mean, it would be good for all of us to get practicing, but I don't know. I worry. I suppose I'd be worried either way.
Indeed.
I mean, Loraphyra, you are the leader, so if you think that it is best to try that, I will try.
I think
My
that
body
it
at least
is-
needs rest.
Exactly. I think that if
This
anywhere
does-
is safe enough to try it, this is it. And if you are able to refresh your body and mind in the process, so much the better.
This too raises the question once more to you, Loraphyra. How do you intend to cross through the rift?
I don't know. I don't know if I can. And that is very unfortunate if that is the case. I will meditate and think on it and see if perhaps there is a chink in the wall that I can slip through, even without being able to properly sleep the way you do.
Are you talking about the palace?
Where else would you find the Empress?
I have scouted the tower. I know a way inside.
On which side of the veil?
The only one we can be. But there are barriers there. I propose an operation.
Go on.
You and I will remain awake and do our part, while the others sleep and do theirs. We will approach the palace at the same time, unlocking each door for one another, allowing us our way to the Empress.
The tower houses her most treasured of artifacts. It will be no easy task to make your way inward. Do you trust in the two of you to do so from this side?
As far as I can tell, there are only 2 elves in Bikath. That gives us an advantage that the Empress has never dealt with before.
What do you do with people who do not sleep and do not dream?
We're an anomaly to her.
Story of my life.
But before anyone goes in, they must understand the operation. That way, we can, in turn, reliably wait upon one another, and I believe that the dream and waking worlds will have an effect on one another.
Communicating across that veil is going to be difficult, if not impossible. So we will need to figure out some method of communication or signaling.
I have no way to do this. I don't suppose you have a spell that affects dreams?
Look at Lynn.
None that comes to mind.
So what level is dream?
It's a pretty high level spell, if I remember
I
correctly.
want to say it's like 6 or 7, but
Yeah,
it's like up there.
Oh, good. That's a good 5th level spell.
Oh, it's 5th.
Yike. Only 5th.
That is, and this is for. It actually doesn't say what classes it's for.
It is for bards,
Bard,
warlocks,
druid,
wizards,
warlock.
and grassland druids.
Is that the 2024 rules?
No. Well,
Bard, Warlock, Wizard. It's not even a druid spell in 2014.
hold
Only
on.
if you're a druid of the land with a grassland subtype.
Well, how does Circle of Dreams not have dream?
That's crazy, right?
Right?
Bad game design. Or maybe it's
think-
something you get automatically.
This, I believe, was one of the subclasses that does not get an expanded spell list.
That's
Yeah,
so dumb.
Yeah, Dream in 2024 says 5th level illusion, Bard, Warlock, Wizard. That's it. But in 5th edition, it is saying that it is Bard, Druid, Warlock, Wizard.
Oh, because at 14th level you can just walk in dreams.
The ability is literally called Walker in Dreams. It is 14th level.
Yeah. And it's more about teleportation than anything else.
That's crazy that you can't get a dream.
Okay,
Well,
well,
actually, it does enable Dream as one of its abilities, as per the spell.
Nice.
because I see it's not on the base list.
Yeah.
Well, that is obnoxious and stupid.
Just
What spells
give
do
it.
you get for at 7th level? Or no, not 7th. Was it 9th level you have to be?
We actually are currently 7th level.
You're 7th
which-
level, which means 4th level spells, right?
4th
Yeah.
level spells. And on my spell list, I feel like the only thing that might actually have some measure of effect is divination.
Divination.
Oh.
Fascinating.
That one is communing with a god or a god servant and asking questions.
Well, Loraphyra is a god servant.
That is true.
Technically, yeah.
What about the ravens? Can they move between the dream world or not?
Oh, that is an excellent question.
Is there anywhere they
Claudio.
can't fly?
Claudio, is this something you could do? Perhaps you could try to find the wild right now and come back, maybe. Before we
Claudio
leave.
vanishes into darkness.
I love them so much.
They are wonderful.
Little smoke birds. All right. So, after some time, the wild is you are trying to wake up, and you are trying to refocus yourself and just not finding that energy, your stomach starts to kind of sink within you as you worry that you possibly made a mistake. And then a wisping smoke of darkness appears not far from you and takes the form of a raven. And you're not sure how or why, but you recognize this as Yi-Ling's raven, Claudio.
Bird.
No, bad kidding.
With that, it vanishes
Sorry.
again.
Yes.
Claudio reappears next to you, Yi-Ling.
Were you able to do it?
Cat. Saw a cat.
Oh, you're amazing. She starts doing the neck scratches that birds love.
Eat bird.
I will not let them eat you. Instead, I will eat you some of this leftover fish pie. Get some little treats.
Glum.
All right, so we have a signal.
This is almost as good as eyeballs.
Sending
Did
the
not know you could
birds.
talk this well.
Sending the ravens across the veil, I think is going to be. I think that is an excellent idea. I have Grim, and you have your. The four of you have
Lorien?
yours.
Though I don't know that Drausken knows about this yet, but we have a way.
We have a way. And once you're over there, you can find the Wild and Drausken and communicate this to them.
Oh, well, actually, if they can find them, Claudio, can you just go find Drausken right now and just tell them ravens?
All right. I think we have at least the beginning of a plan.
As much of one as we can accumulate at this moment with the information that we have.
And so you finish eating
An excellent
take-
meal.
an excellent meal, honestly.
Well, it's the best we can do with what we got.
Tang Song is hasn't eaten this well in years, so he's thrilled to bits. He's like, this is the greatest night of my life.
Would you love weirdos in my house more often?
They just be cooking all kinds of stuff. One of them's a gorilla that's nuts, Now that's what we call a party.
Oh, Lord.
Anyway, he puts the lampshade on his head, and you guys have a great time. So,
Get a meal that couldn't be me.
so given time, things begin to sort of come together. The Wild, even though you have lost the Jiangxi, you find yourself somewhat aimless. Though the what's it called? It's called the Gemstone Gardens call to you. A place where nature is at its strongest. And it nears the palace. There is
Totally.
magical energy. You can almost smell it. But also just the comfort of nature is nearby. Drausken, you are presented with a merchant who knows Akath well and can offer you more tools to aid you on your mission, on your scouting efforts. Yi-Ling, you're armed with a plan and have come up with a method to communicate across veils. It will likely be up to you and Lynn to find Drausken and the Wild and to inform them of this plan, and then to coordinate with Loraphyra and with Night Eye in order to assault the Ping-On Tower. But all of that will have to wait until next time.
Time to bail the boys out of trouble.
You know, that does seem to be our job. Are the collective's job.
We
Well.
can't leave you guys unemployed.
You know, could use a holiday now and again.
It's called job security.
It's also called burnout.
Mm.
Thank
Hey.
you all so
Especially
much for
here.
joining us this fair evening, as all of us are exhausted but delighted to be here with all of you. We hope that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family, your found family, your chosen family, whoever you are celebrating with. We hope that you have a wonderful holiday, that you eat a lot of good food, and you have time to stop and reflect on what you're thankful for at this time. We're going into some hard times, so I think that taking the time to reflect on what we're thankful for, to gird our
All
loins,
you guys.
gird our loins, so to speak. Y'all
And if
are
you're not-
wonderful. Thank you
If
so
you're
much
not-
for. Mhm.
If you're not in the U.S., just having a really nice dinner on Thursday.
Yeah. Either way, have a great dinner. I'm gonna say this out loud so that it's in the record. We have 3 charges left of the Deadpool, so that we will use those going forward. Thank you so much to our incredibly generous viewers. Adam, it's up to you to remember what your I'm not keeping track of that for you. I have enough going on back here.
Because it was a lot. It was a crap ton.
I believe it's 3 that you have, because Fallon Gore.
Oh,
said
you
3.
do know the number.
Fallon Gore was the only one who
Oh,
sent it.
that don't sound right.
Right now, but in a week, who knows?
23. I think the number was 23. Very
Oh, of
good.
course. Fallon Gore was the only one who sent you bits because Pro wasn't watching tonight. So, and I know
Like
that
an
he said
antagonist.
1,500. So that's 3 for you. 3 charges for you, but I'm not remembering that past this moment.
Very good.
It's gone.
Bye. So thank you all so much for being here. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Check out the Discord if you want to see when I'll be streaming next this week. I'll probably do a long stream on Sunday just to play some video games, because this week is weird. It's a holiday week. I'm going to spend a lot of time with friends, eating very good food, and having to be rolled out of various buildings. So thank you
Variously.
all so much. And until we meet again, friends, stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you next time.
Happy
Hang-
Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving. Hang tight. We're going to
Love
raid out to
you.
Jenna's Online and go and watch her get her butt kicked with Final Fantasy X2.